Welcome to St Wilfrid's Light Up Alive Service 2021. I'm Alison. I'm proud to say that I look after the running of the hospice so that we can continue to care for people in our local community who have life-limiting illnesses along with their loved ones. Thank you for joining us today as we gather together to remember those people who have died and who live on in our memories. Giving ourselves space and time to reflect and remember is really important, and even more so during this difficult time of the coronavirus pandemic. We've continued to provide expert care and compassion for our patients throughout the period, and as an independent charity, we thank everyone who supported us to continue in our purpose of making a difference to local lives. I hope you enjoy the music and readings that are to come this evening from our team, and we send our love and best wishes to all of you watching from all of us at St Wilfrid's Hospice.
Hi, I'm Susie. I look after the clinical team at St Wilfrid's Hospice. Today I've been asked to read a piece from the Bible around the Nativity. In those days, Caesar Augustus issued a decree that the census should be taken in the entire Roman world. Everyone went to their own town to register. So Joseph went up from the town of Nazareth in Galilee to Judea, to Bethlehem, the town of David, because he belonged to the house and line of David. He went there to register with Mary, who was pledged to be married to him and was expecting a child. While they were there, the time came for the baby to be born, and she gave birth to her firstborn, a son. She wrapped him in cloths and placed him in a manger because there was no guest room available for them. There were shepherds living in the fields nearby, keeping watch over their flocks at night. An angel of the Lord appeared to them, and the glory of the Lord shone around them, but they were terrified. But the angel said to them, "Do not be afraid, I bring you good news that will cause great joy for all the people. Today, in the town of David, a Saviour has been born to you. He is the Messiah, the Lord. This will be a sign to you. You will find a baby wrapped in cloths and lying in a manger." Suddenly, a great company of heavenly hosts appeared with the angel, praising God and saying, "Glory to God in the highest heaven, and on earth peace to all those whom his favour rests." When the angels had left them and gone into heaven, the shepherds said to one another, "Let's go to Bethlehem and see this thing that has happened, which the Lord has told us about."
Hello, my name's Sam and I'm a doctor currently working here at St Wilfrid's Hospice. Thank you to everyone who has continued to support our vital work this year with fundraising and donations. We were delighted to be able to see over 500 of you at our Moonlight Walk in September. And this behind me is our memory arch from the Moonlight Walk, where walkers placed a tag of remembrance in honour of their loved ones.
Hi, I'm Annie and I volunteer with the community support team. We regularly call patients and their loved ones to support them and to reduce loneliness and isolation. I'm going to read a poem by Rudyard Kipling called Eddie. The poem is about St Wilfrid's Church in Church Norton, West Sussex, not far from where the St Wilfrid's Hospice is based. In 1913, poet Rudyard Kipling visited St Wilfrid's Chapel in Church Norton and wrote his poem, Eddie of Manhood End. The poem is now part of the legacy and heritage of the Manhood Peninsula and tells the story of Eddie trying to preach the Christmas message to people who did not want to hear, and at the same time teaching the Anglo-Saxons to fish and be self-sufficient. Eddie, priest of St Wilfrid, in his chapel at Manhood End, ordered a midnight service for such as cared to attend. But the Saxons were keeping Christmas, and the night was stormy as well. Nobody came to the service, though Eddie rang the bell. Wicked weather for walking, said Eddie of Manhood End, but I must go on with the service for such as care to attend. The altar lamps were lighted, the old marsh donkey came, bold as a guest invited, and stared at the guttering flame. The storm beat on the windows, and the water splashed on the floor, and a wet, yoke-weary bullock pushed in through the open door. How do I know what is greatest? How do I know what is least? That is my Father's business, said Eddie, Wilfrid's priest. But three are gathered together. Listen to me and attend. I bring good news, my brethren, said Eddie of Manhood End. And he told the ox of a manger and a stall in Bethlehem. And he spoke to the ass of a rider that rode to Jerusalem. They steamed and dripped in the chancel. They listened and never stirred, while just as though they were bishops, Eddie preached them the word. Till the gale blew off on the marshes and the windows showed the day, the ox and the ass together wheeled and clattered away. And when the Saxons mocked him, said Eddie of Manhood End, I dare not shut his chapel on such as care to attend.
We're here in the Lady Chapel of Chichester Cathedral, and I'm joined by Alison and Natalie. And Alison's husband and Natalie's father came into the hospice. So, can you say what happened when you came in and where you all came from?
Yes, well, my husband Chris came to the hospice from the hospital in Southampton, where he'd been treated in a very busy, noisy ward for cancer. And it became apparent that the treatment wouldn't help further his life. And so he moved to the hospice, and the contrast was amazing. It was peaceful, it was quiet, he had his own room looking out over the garden, and everything was just so different. And the family and I were able to visit and be with him and share memories. He couldn't join in the conversation, but we knew he was listening to us. So it was a special time for us.
And were you able to be together?
Yeah, so we were all able to come in and sit around with him, and to begin with we were sort of taking it in turns, but then towards the end we could all be together, and
yeah, because you really need each other, don't you, at that time? And,
yeah, absolutely.
You don't be sitting there on your own, really.
No, that's right. And on his last few hours, we were all there, holding his hands with him while he passed away at the end of his life on earth. And that was a special time.
And how did the sort of team in the hospice sort of help you in that whole process?
They were very welcoming. Obviously, with the COVID, it was difficult. We all had to wear masks and gloves and aprons. But we felt that Chris had been treated with dignity and respect throughout his stay, even though he could do very little for himself. He couldn't even turn over in bed. And yet he was a person to them. He wasn't just the next bed down the ward.
Yeah, and I know one of the things our nurses found hard in COVID, they're great huggers. they've got a sort of touchy-feely
Yes.
group. And the fact that they were sort of restricted from really caring for you as much as they would, was really quite difficult for them. And I know it's something they've said afterwards, that they missed that part of their nursing life. So to know that they still made you feel really
They
important.
brought cups of tea and biscuits
And homemade cake.
yeah.
Yeah, the hospice does run on cake, actually. It's very much part of the culture.
Good evening, I'm Jez, and I'm privileged to be a trustee with the hospice. I'm going to read a poem for you from here in the beautiful Lady Chapel at Chichester Cathedral. The poem is called The Star. A light went out on earth for me the day we said goodbye, and on that day a star was born, the brightest in the sky. Reaching through the darkness with its rays of purest white, lighting up the heavens as it once lit up my life. With beams of love to heal the broken heart you left behind, where always in my memory your lovely star will shine.
Hello, I'm James. I'm one of the chaplains at St Wilfrid's. I'd like to welcome you all here to the Lady Chapel of Chichester Cathedral. We're going to light some candles, and hopefully you have a candle at home that you can light. We've all been through a very strange 18 months. Some of us have had to grieve in very strange circumstances. We haven't perhaps able to be with our loved one as much as we'd have liked. We certainly haven't had the normal ceremonies, funerals that we would have had, and things have been very different. So this is quite a special time when we can pause and reflect and remember and let that love build in our hearts. Let out those feelings that perhaps we've had to keep enclosed. So hopefully as we light our 4 candles tonight, you'll be able to remember with love and affection those that you've loved, that you'll be able to pay a fitting tribute to them, and that they'll remember the love you have for them in the way we light our candles tonight. And the first candle we light really represents our grief and our sadness, but it also reminds us of the depth of love that we have for those that we care deeply about. And the second candle represents our courage, the courage to confront our sorrow, the courage to comfort each other, and the courage to change our lives. And the third candle we light really in memory for the times we laughed and the times we cried, and the joy and the silly things we did together, and the caring and the joy that was given to us. And the fourth candle we simply light for our love. As we light this candle, we remember that the light of those we love always shines in our hearts, and actually, even in the darkest times, can never be extinguished. And as we enter this holiday season and share this light of remembrance with family and friends, we cherish the special place our loved ones hold in our hearts. And actually tonight, as we look at that light, we can be confident that they are there with us, that their presence in our hearts and in our lives shines forth, and the light they gave us during their life with us still shines as we continue in our lives. So may each candle we light say to those that we have loved, we love you and we remember you and we hold you close in our hearts.
Celestial lights, leaders of dreams, souls of the skies. If you see one fall, catch it, hold it tight.
It's been a great privilege to welcome you here to Chichester Cathedral. It's a place I've known and loved for over 40 years. And your joining us here tonight has been a great joy, and we're very thankful for it. We're thankful for all the support you give to the hospice. Everyone in our team really appreciates that and thanks you for it. So as we enter a Christmas season, I wish you all a very happy and blessed time.